don't show up Monday, see if anything changes. Because I don't think it will. So the government shutdown is a don't show up on Monday and see if anything changes, number one.
It was so funny. All you heard was this whining like, we can't go to the Statue of Liberty.
All right.
Okay. All right. That's the worst thing that happens in the government shutdown.
Well, first off, it started in micro world with the sequestration, which is we're not going to have tours of the White House. To me, and I don't know, I really don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand how President Obama can shut down the tours of the White House and then just go on golf vacations. I think it's the weirdest, most pompous and arrogant message to send to the people when you say, hey, it's time for everyone to tighten their belts and roll up their sleeves. There's a lot of hardworking folks that, factories shut down and communities are going to have to band together. Now fire up the helicopter. I'm going golfing. It's a weird symbolic. Of course, everything is symbolic.
Well, I think
but it's symbolic, but it's symbolic, and that means something to me. It's arrogant, I've said many times, put the fucking driving simulator down in the basement of put it down in the bunker.
And ask Mickelson over.
And get Tiger Woods and Mickelson over, fly him in with the helicopter, and get a fucking cooler Bud and a couple of cools and just fucking have your time there. But don't go out to Maui on a golfing vacation when you're in the middle of the sequestration, and don't spend $11,000 to fly your dog in who got left behind on the vacation. That's a weird, arrogant thing to do. I don't understand it. And now, to me, the symbolic punishment. So what happened, in my view, is they go, we're going to shut the government down. And I think people, by and large, go, who cares? You claimed during the sequestration old people would be dying kill us. Yeah, and planes would be falling out of the sky, and nothing fucking happened. Now you're claiming this again. So they say, yeah. And then they do these things like, all right, the World War II
museum.
Veterans, not even a museum.
The outdoor memorial,
Outdoor memorial, which doesn't have, it's not staffed by people. It's just in the middle of an outdoor plaza.
Yeah.
You have to go shut it down. Now you have to put barriers around it. Now you take more people and more expense to actually put guards there to staff it, to shut it down. Are you shutting down scenic overviews so that we can't look at the Grand Canyon, or we can't look at, Mount Cheyenne or whatever the hell we want to look? You're putting barricades where there formerly nobody there, where you'd pull over your car and look at something.
Yeah.
By the way, first off, let me explain something. We own that. We own that. That's ours. This is our land. We've elected you to govern it, but not to shut us off from our land. It's a weird fucking overreach. And it's arrogant, and it feels punitive.
Well, I knew you evidently didn't watch the rest of my program, because later in the show I talked about how on both sides this dysfunction, this lack of leadership is affecting people. I think the reason mentally ill people are driving their cars into the White House and getting shot and stuff is because they're freaked out. It's like having parents fighting, and of course then the most sensitive amongst us act out.
It's interesting.
You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
And so I say both sides, leaders, lead. Yes, you're administrators. Yes, you're bureaucrats. Yes, you have to create policy and laws. You're good at that. Lead, because people are getting fucked up by the dysfunction.
I would like to shrink government.
And it's keeping what you were saying, too, with the golfing and stuff. That's not good leadership. Lead by example. You eat Twinkies. You eat top ramen for lunch. Whatever. You know what I mean? Let's roll up our sleeves. Let's all do this together. Let's go.
I don't like here's my only thoughts on the government shutdown. I don't like this part of it, and this is how it appears to me. It appears to me that the president says, we're going to shut the government down, and when we do shut the government down, you're all going to pay. I mean, you're going to feel it. It's going to be it's going to be very impactful in your life. Mm-hmm. And then he says, all right, you asked for it, shut it down. And we shut it down, and the general consensus is, no big deal. I'm going to catch a flight, go to Minneapolis, do a couple shows, get paid, do a Mangria signing, come home again.
Less than no big deal.
Less than no big deal. As a matter of fact,
some people are affected, to be fair.
Right,
but
to be fair.
You have to find those people.
For me, I'm happy. I think I speak for many people who go, look, I wanted a smaller government. And by the way, this government shutdown is not a government shutdown. It is a small percentage of the government shutting down. It's not the government shutting down.
Right.
But all right.
It's a piece of it.
So you do that. And
Stuff they should have shrunk anyway, probably.
Yes.
This is sort of proving that point in a weird way.
And then, of course it is. This is you not showing up for work on Monday and everything just going along just fine. Maybe we don't need you as many hours. Maybe you don't need 40 hours. Maybe we don't need to pay you 40 hours a week. But all right, you made the threat, you shut it down, and nothing happened. So now we have to make sure you feel it symbolically. Mm-hmm. And the way you feel it symbolically is at the World War II Veterans Memorial, is at the overlooks,
right,
and shutting down the national parks and other things that formerly either required almost nothing to run. There's stories about volunteers saying they'll run it and having guards and park people saying no volunteers. This thing's shut down. There's a lot of that, which again symbolically feels like now we're being punished. And I don't like when the American president almost has contempt for his people. That's what it feels like to me. You don't feel the sting of this? Then you're going to feel the sting of it through these symbolic gestures that really mean nothing, or if anything, cost more money to do. Again, a big outdoor plaza with a big, cement monolith in it. Would we have to close that off to the elderly veterans? Leave them alone. And who's going to look bad in this equation? And I think that's what's happening. I think the people are sort of waking up and going, all this doom and gloom, all this, I feel the same with this as I feel with the horrible race baiters. They got the first black president in there, and they all doubled down on their efforts to create a bigger chasm between white, black, or black, Hispanic, or whatever the chasms were. It's like they rolled up their sleeves and they got to work double time on this because they felt their business slipping between their fingers, which is this race baiting. And so we've doubled down on it. I don't care about the government shutting down. I wish it shut down even more. I really do. And,
it's interesting. It's showing the importance of local governments, in my opinion. You begin to realize what's important to you is your city governments and things. I'm with the trash collector, with the cops. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And city governments is really where stuff gets done. And if you look at the founding of this country, that was their original principle. Was that local democracies are in the habit of local democratic participation is really what created the system.
All right. Let's shrink it.
All right.
That's all I'm saying. I like shrink that government, baby. I don't know why. Look, I would be for bigger government if I thought it ever fucking worked. It's like, LA Unified School District. It's just a fucking behemoth that just keeps growing and growing and growing and burning more money and burning more money and burning more money, and test scores keep getting lower. Like, there's nothing there. I mean, the idea of, if only they had more money. They had less money 20 years ago, and the grades were higher.
Yeah, we should have a meeting.
Yeah, let's have a meeting. Let's get some more bureaucrats in and sit down and have a meeting.